For over 1,000 years, Western civilization has been stuck in a dark age of sexual repression and misinformation. We get an oversexed overload from the media, but nothing in the way of honest, helpful, practical information on sex and how to do it right. That sucks, and I'm fucking sick of it. My name's JV Altheras, and I've spent a couple decades learning everything I can about how to have amazing sex and more of it. Not in a classroom like a lot of people who talk about sex. I learned it all in the gutter, right where Mom told me I'd end up. It's my mission to bring an end to the sexual dark age with brutally honest talk and education on all aspects of sex and sexuality, in an atmosphere that will keep you entertained without treating you like an idiot. Shara and I are not doctors. Certifiable, perhaps, but not certified in any way. And that means we don't have to talk about vaginas and penises to maintain academic credibility. You got a problem with a vagina? Call a gynecologist. You want to learn more about pussies and cocks and how to make them happy? You've come to the right place. Greetings and welcome to episode 99 of Ending the Sexual Dark Age.
You're laughing through the whole thing.
This is going to degenerate quickly. I can tell you right now.
Don't know what you're talking about.
So I'd like to start by apologizing to our audience for the atrocious audio quality.
For saying 99 while you're laughing? I mean, it's the 99th episode.
Well, right, but it's not really germane to the point at hand. Oh. So the last two episodes have been our retrospective about desire with the Swingset folks plus Tristan Termino. My audio quality was awful because we were having technical problems, so I sounded like shit in both the last episodes.
How did I sound?
You sounded fine, actually.
Okay, just checking.
That's what's important.
How did Tristan sound?
Everybody sounded fine except me.
Oh, so you were the problem.
I was, absolutely, yes.
So let's go back to that for Saturday.
I sounded terrible. No, the recording still exists, so I should say I sound terrible. But, what are you looking at?
You.
Oh, nice. Say that with a straight face.
Straight? It's straight.
But, so there is a discussion which I have just sparked after having worked on editing this episode. The cross noise, noise is always a problem at Desire. So
there is problem.
The cross noise, it was 1,000,000 degrees and the fans are audible on the microphone, and we are going to try to come up with a better solution this year for everybody's podcast recording than doing it in the damn lobby, because that's just not getting it. So I think we can improve it. I think we can find an indoor venue that we'll be able to use, either the disco or RC.
I was going to say the disco.
Yeah. Well, the disco's got shitty acoustics. So, unless you're coming through the sound system, the acoustics are shitty. But we can use RC. Then that way they don't have to send a bartender up there. So I think they'd be happy to have us do that. But anyway, long story short, I apologize in advance for what you all are about to hear. And we love you and appreciate your support. What do you make that? Oh, you got a little extra spicy on that one, did you?
I'm not supposed to be eating right now. Shh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm dieting, and so they tell you to have nuts on hand. But I chose the...
If you need some nuts in your hands, I can help.
That could help me lose weight too, I guess.
So this is the last of the previously recorded old episodes.
Mm-hmm. And it's number
99.
Because you laughed through the whole number 99.
Well, I think they probably understood me.
Think so?
Probably.
So what do we have planned for the 100th episode?
Well, we're going to bring Ginger and Cooper on.
Yay!
They were some of our first guests, and of course, they're some of our best friends in podcasting, and of course, the people we co-host an awesome Desire Takeover with. So it'll be great to have them on, and we're working on maybe a couple other surprises, but so we're just trying to line up schedules, so that should be a good time.
You know how I like surprises.
Yes, I know. That's why.
I like them.
You also don't like to not be told stuff.
That's true, too. But I don't have to worry, because I already know for the 100th episode, so I'm
right. But there's stuff you don't know. You see, audience, Desire is coming up, so the plotting and scheming has officially begun. And we have a dear friend who subs for me and tops Shara So we have a very interesting dynamic, and we have not delved too deep into that dynamic, but it certainly seems like we're heading the direction of delving a little deeper on it, which is a good time, I think, for everybody. But we are planning a scene involving Shara for Desire, and we're going to be co-topping her, and we have not decided yet if she gets to be part of the planning. So she may get ambushed. We're trying to decide if it's going to be an ambush scene. So Shara likes surprises, so I go to great lengths to surprise her. It's sometimes tremendous amounts of work behind the scenes.
It is hard to surprise
for a surprise, and you pay attention to it. You catch a lot of shit, so it's hard to surprise you in the first place. I got to be in extra sneaky mode.
I know. Sorry.
It's okay. But see, then sometimes I'm trying to set up a surprise for her, and we're driving, and she keeps seeing text messages coming in and popping up on the screen in the car. Text message from. And we typically, the only time Shara's not allowed to look at my phone is when I'm plotting something. So I, interestingly, have to basically tell her when I'm plotting something and give her an idea who I'm plotting it with. But I think that only tends to enhance the experience for her.
I tend to agree with you on that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm glad to hear that, because I enjoy that part of it, too.
Do you now?
Yes. Trembling with anticipation. So that was fun. But, so Shara knows a scene is getting planned, and she is desperate to know what the plans are, but she is not allowed to know what the plans are. So she's making the pouty face right now.
Let me just say this. The person that you are plotting with, I have a lot of respect for her, because she is really good.
So, as we are coming back from this hiatus, we're in the process of kind of freshening up the show. We're going to record a new intro, because the intro is pretty stale. It was recorded by me solo 9 years ago, and you don't even appear on it. So we need to record a new Desire commercial, because we've been very lame and have not been promoting the Desire trip. However, already more than 75% booked, which is pretty awesome. So there's still room, but spaces are disappearing. And to everybody out there listening, you certainly have plenty of material in our back catalog about our Desire trips. I feel like we've been talking about them a little bit too much lately because of what we've been podcasting about, and we're making efforts to rectify that. But it really is, it's a life-changing experience.
It is.
We have curated an incredible group of people. It's a combination of the resort and the staff at the resort and the people we bring and the particular formula that we figured out over the years for setting up events and scheduling so that it tends to let the week really flow for everybody. It's just an incredible experience, and it is not cheap, but it is an investment in your relationship, whether or not you decide to play with anybody else, whether or not you decide to walk around buck naked any place. And if you do not decide to do either one of those things, it will not in any way interrupt the way that everyone responds to you and the way everybody behaves towards you.
I've said this a million times, but I never get tired of saying it, because truly the group is I'm not saying that there's never an issue, but if there is, I could count on one hand. It'd be half of the hand. And it's all the years that we've been going. So you bond with so many different people. And where is it that you can go where you're getting to know swingers, poly, bi, just such a variety, and everybody.
Kinky, poly, bisexual swingers like you.
But they're so warm and caring, and that person has this kink. I can help. I know somebody that can help, even if I don't do it. I know somebody that can help with that, and they go out of their way. Believe me, I know, to make sure that it happens to you. So I have plenty of those stories.
It is a safe bet. Like we're all very helpful people, and we're also many of us are giant perverts, and very proud of it. So like if you ask for something, I advise you to make sure that is something you want, because it's going to happen. If you come party with us and you ask for something ridiculous because you think it's impossible, you might get something you are not expecting. we have a rather good history of pulling off the ridiculous.
The only thing that didn't happen was I once asked for me to be left completely alone for 4 days. The butler's always coming by. No matter what you do, the butler's always there. And Cece's always there to serve you a drink.
Yes.
Especially when we have the bed right next to her. Yep. Just put your hand out and the drink is ready.
So this will be the last Desire episode for a while. But just wanted to talk about the upcoming stuff a little bit. And we're going to not necessarily relaunch the show, but give everything a little bit of a facelift. We're working on a new website because the website that I built 9 years ago is just not... It's 9 years ago cool.
It's old.
Yeah. It was right there 9 years ago. But
it's old.
Yeah. Now it's old. It's not busted, but it's old.
It's old. Very old.
So without further ado, I was just waiting to see if Shara was going to talk.
Don't say that because you know I'll talk.
But without further ado, here is our Dungeon Night Debrief, recorded with a live audience at Desire Resort in Cancun, also known as, well, this year, probably about 36 naked people and a microphone. Greetings and welcome to Ending the Sexual Dark Age, Desire Riviera Maya Edition 2018 with a live audience. Say hello, live audience. So the trip has been a smashing success again this year. Everybody's been having a great time. We got a lot of new folks who have been assimilated more quickly than the Borg possibly could have done it, and we couldn't be happier about that. Usually we end up talking a lot about Dungeon Night because that's our main event here, and I see a lot of smiling faces, people who were either dispensing or receiving beatings or other play on Dungeon Night. So we thank everybody for coming in. Shara, do you want to get us started?
Sure. So Dungeon Night for us started off, the first year was great, but this year showed high number of volumes of people coming in, but we couldn't do it without the DMs that have all participated and the ones that have helped you coming in the door and what you needed, and then all the new people that showed up and were interested, and some of you that have been coming for the last 3 years, welcoming the new people in and making them feel safe, and that's very important to us. But life on the Swingset would never have happened without you asking us to join you and bringing out the kink and whatever intrigues them, whether it's a spanking or it's floggings, or which I love being flogged. So there's other things that I've seen happen that have changed. I want to talk to April and August, if you don't mind putting in a few words about how you started off and where you are now is intriguing to me.
So Dungeon Night 3 years ago was our introduction to kink. And we became fast friends with kink. And have got to hang out with you all both at this place and then at the Fetish Fair Flea. And have been on our own journey with it and have had opportunities to share it with others, including a couple special scenes in the dungeon. And it's very much an evolution, and it'll be exciting to see where we are in 3 years, but this first 3 years has been amazing.
Yes, I would agree. It's been a fabulous exploration for us, and the journey continues.
And I love watching you co-talk together. And you have a little...
I second that emotion.
Yay.
And found that by accident. We purchased a pair of matched floggers at Fetish Fair Flea with the thought that August would learn to Florentine flog. And then I was flogging someone because I've discovered I really enjoy being a service top. And August came and picked up a flogger and asked if he could join in, and that's how we discovered the car wash.
Thank you. I love it. I love it being called the car wash.
We had
Because you have to have fun.
yes. So we washed 3 cars, Dungeon Night.
Thank you.
Yes.
Happy customers of the car wash.
Yes.
Especially when you get to see all the lovely bruises that they enjoy receiving. So, had a beautiful, yes.
mean, you can't. The podcast can't see them, but
This is the boring part of radio, as Tristan said.
We still haven't signed that ass yet, so if you want to bring it over, we'll sign it.
And part of what I love about those bruises is that it activates you, whatever. Those are on buttons for you right now. And I've seen those. Oh yeah.
And that's part of it, is it's everybody's own kink, and it's, if you see somebody walking around with bruises, it's not because they didn't want them, it's because they wanted them. And so it's a great feeling. I unfortunately do not bruise, not very often, but I love the bruises. I love to have them. So when I see somebody else walking around with bruises on, I'm like very excited for them, and they have the smile on their face as you do. So
remember, if Ginger gets bruised, she cannot orgasm. That's our agreement.
That's the agreement. I like that. So, watching everybody increase their expectations every year, and watching something new happen, and every year there is something new that happens. So, do you want to talk about something new that you saw this year? You were busy.
Yes. So I was fairly busy, but we had, one of the great things about this year was we had a much deeper roster of service tops. So we had more people. I think we had as many female service tops as we had male, which was great. Just gave everybody a lot of variety, and the variety of play that we saw in the dungeon was a little wider. We got through the sign-up list a lot more quickly. We had easily as many people all night long as we did last year, but there was a lot less wait time. There was so everybody was getting to play quicker. We were getting to do longer scenes because of that. We really didn't have to time limit scenes, so really everything came together pretty much perfectly.
And it was a much needed vacation for us. A lot of you may know that JP was very sick, so it was, I'm sorry, it was great that he was able to make the trip, that we were able to be together, and a huge release for us. Even though it's a lot of work to put everything together, it was a huge release for us to be able to be there and to be here today. You really realize what life is all about, and accepting what it is that you want to do in life. So with everything that has happened to him, the other things aren't as important anymore. It's taking the time to be with the people that love and accept you for who you are, what you like to do, and what you want to do in life is the most important. And I won't let anybody ever change that about me again, because sometimes I would be like in the back corner and the quiet one, and it's okay, but not anymore, because seriously, it's all about who you love and who you spend your time with, and people accepting you for who you are. And I love this group that is here. I love Desire for the people here, the staff and everybody, and what they make you feel like. And Swingset, Life on the Swingset, did the research, and it is one of the places that makes it home, even if it is only a week. It's the best week that I could possibly ask to spend.
So we have a couple of special guests here that I know are time limited because they are actually on the clock right now. So would you like to introduce Cece for us?
Cece.
Cece, this is a microphone. Speak into this.
Cece is...
I love you, Cece.
Just in case, right?
Did you bring your sunglasses, your Hollywood sunglasses with you? So we all love Cece for the drinks that she makes down at the beach, and I asked her to join us today because I feel that she's one of the people here that makes coming here fun and enjoyable, and she makes the best drinks you could ever ask for, and she always asks about you. She remembers you, she knows what you want to drink, and we love you, Cece. We just absolutely love you, and so glad you could take time out to come up here. We love you, Cece!
You take care of our people, and we'd like to think that we take care of you too.
Oh, muchas gracias. I tell you, I don't want to say about another people group, but you are one of my favorite people. And we stay here for the same reason, by you. So we have a compliment. We stay here. If you're coming back, we don't go anywhere. So I agree with you. You are, we don't care. So you know how much we love you. Not just to me, I talk about to the es su casa.
Muchas gracias, Cici.
And I just want to say, a lot of people don't. I'm up waiting for her to arrive in the morning and sitting there enjoying the sun and looking at the water. But I want to say this morning she brought food and was feeding the other workers, and so they were all coming up and joining, and that was like just so nice to see all the workers and what you do for them. So as well. So, gracias.
You know, we have the same family. Sometimes you come just to go visit a week, but you have family too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Daddy.
Thank you, Cici.
Love you.
So I love you too, and thank you for sharing my drinks with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you made a new drink today.
Oh, see, and what is the name?
Oh, I
The
don't.
name is the Swinger Doc.
Wow.
So now you have a drink only for this group, and I share with everybody, so they are famous too.
Thank you, Cici.
Thank
you
you guys.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy your lunch. Thank you
Oh,
for taking
gracias.
time out to
It's
join
okay.
us. Thank you.
Thank you. Muchísimas gracias. See you later in the bar.
Of course.
Oh, yes.
And we also have Dee Dee, who is looking like she's going to run away, but she's going to take the microphone because
Come
she's
on, you are
sporting.
shy.
Hello guys, it's always a pleasure having you guys here. Actually, I was very excited to have you here every year, and like, where the Swingers are coming back, because I really love this group. You're the greatest, and I look forward to have you guys here because all your costumes and your energy and you're the happiest group that we have here in Desire, and we have a lot of groups, but to me, you guys are my favorite. It's not just because you're just gathered here, just because I really feel it. When you guys arrive and I see Dylan or Jeff or Cooper in his picture for the karaoke, I'm like, yeah! they're coming." Like, are we gonna do karaoke this time? I know you guys feel this like your getaway home.
Yeah.
And we feel the compromise to serve you guys and make you feel like the way you're supposed to feel and beyond. Because I know for you guys it's like a challenge to keep all your jobs behind and come and gather here. The first day I arrived and you were all gathered here, you were like kids in the first day in the school. Coming back from vacation. It was exciting, and I asked myself, like, do I have to make my own activities? I think they don't need nothing to have fun. I'm like, "Ah, do you want to do that? No, I just want to say hello to my friends." You were so excited. And that's why you keep coming back here, because this is like your big house to share with all your friends. So welcome back. I'm so glad that you guys are so, like, in Spanish it's called muéganos, with me that is like a suite that is all together. So you go as a group. Dinner! It's challenging for the kitchen because like, oh, there come 100 people already. They're running together all the food so you can be served. They're like, oh my God, they come in group, right? They do.
We do everything in
But
groups.
when all kinds of food. You eat yourself. You eat each other.
Yes, we do.
And this group is very inclusive, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're girl, boy, you're all one.
Yes.
It's just humans gathering together.
That's right.
So that's why, give it up to you guys! And I'm looking forward to see you next year, okay? All of you plus all your friends. Make a lot of threesomes. Okay, bye!
Thank you, Dee Dee. So that's a good example of the kind of energy we have from the staff here. That's not just because we're doing a podcast, that's all week long, and that's one of the reasons that we love this place like a second home. So we always like to start out early going around for Dungeon Night stories. If anyone would like to share theirs, obviously no one is obligated to, but I'd like to just start going left to right, and anyone who's got a memory they'd like to share, we'd like to invite you to share. Anyone? We'll just pass that mic around.
As a really new top, and who's not necessarily super comfortable stepping into that role, and I really appreciated, Jamie, what you and I talked about. You gave me some really amazing transformational advice. And then Dungeon Night, it allowed me to get to Dungeon Night and observe the tops that were working, the service tops that were working, and really learn from them by observing them. And so much about all my crap that I was bringing to the role. And I really super appreciate that from you guys and all the service stops over there.
Thank you.
It was transformational for me, and I'm leaving here owning my top role. Yeah.
Well, that just gave me chills. So.
Yay. I love to get chills.
I'll echo that. It's been a bottom for a number of times, but I really am forgetting about the actual experience. The 3 words that JD broke me aside, and it was like textbook. It was perfect. What you want, what you like, what you don't like, and then following the scene, and then of course the aftercare was amazing. Shark took great care of us. It was like a textbook experience of how it should be. So that's what I do.
Thank you.
I will say that I was super shy and nervous ahead of time, and I shouldn't have been. It was tons of fun. And I got tied up and blindfolded and left there while JB and my husband went and decided what they wanted to do, which was exciting and fun. And not as scary as I thought it would be. And I had a great time.
The mic is now going to Duncan, who is one of our service tops.
And so I spent this year a lot of time on the Violet Wand doing electrical play. And the Violet Wand tends to be one of those things that people are like, get that away from me, and never want to do this again. But glad that you go try to find that out, or oh wow, this is really interesting. But for the first time, I think we may have discovered an avenue for further medical research. Now, granted, a simple size of n equals 1 is not exactly inclusive. However, the next morning somebody came up to me and said they had a vagus nerve that plagues them, it's a chronic thing for them. And they had felt wonderful from the time they were using to use the Violet Wand through the next early afternoon or late morning. We're like, more research required. Yeah, more research required. Yes.
Work.
Forthcoming to the research board.
I had the privilege of being the gatekeeper the night of the dungeon, so people would come up to me to sign up for whatever pleasure they decided to try. For me, the best fun was having to come up really anxious and never having done it before, wanting to try something, sure what, and it was just really lovely to have them do something. Put them up in one of our very wonderful service counters. Each and every one of them were wonderful. We took them to a wonderful time with them negotiating, and then we play and see them then come out looking so excited and satiated and just, that wonderful feeling you get when you try something that you never thought you could do.
So my story's a bit different in that I've done some BDSM play before, but I think it's important to remember that it's not always about pain. Sometimes it's about that. Miss Domina asked me that question: how do you want me to make you feel? And I always forget that question. And the word that I can use is euphoric, although I don't think that's what I asked for. But I felt muscles trembling that I didn't even know I had trembling. So it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. That was very sweet. Loved it.
And I have to just say, loved your outfits, and it was amazing to see everybody there. The different outfits that were worn was just amazing.
So my experience was incredibly transformational, and it was more intense than I anticipated it being, and I carried into through the next day, probably for 24 hours. But what I really want to say is the care and time that Shara puts into the aftercare room is amazing and so important for integrating the experience after it happens. So thank you, Shara, because you do a fantastic job with that.
Thank you. You're gonna make me cry. Thank you.
I would also like to spank her during that.
Motion carried.
So I had a completely fun and new experience finding out that I love doing wax play. And we had a couple of awesome scenes, starting out with the very practical taking off of wax with a room key. Then Melissa thankfully brought a wax kit that had a knife involved with it. And then I realized I really like wax. Because the mindfuck associated with having a knife to remove the wax is amazing. And then, as happened, when the doms get together afterwards, we were at the lobby bar with Swinger Doc and talking about some other enhancements to my new wax interests. And I am going to have, this time next year, anybody who wants to have wax play, a prof stamp, wax seal stamp. Oh! We are going serious Game of Thrones style. Prof is coming.
And I have to say, beautiful work you did, Prof. It was absolutely amazing. And
Yes, and didn't one of the people you topped have you take photos for her?
Yes. Yes.
Finding a camera in the dungeon is difficult. Shara did a great job tracking that down.
Hey, you know, it's all about making sure everybody gets what they want. So
Again, thank you very much.
She says nothing. I'm just gonna hide behind right now.
This morning was the first time that I think the dungeon experience carried beyond the day after, where now I'm feeling very sassy and empowered, and be careful.
And Ophelia was one of our service tops. That's important to mention. So she was swinging the hammer.
So I was simply an observer at Dungeon Night, and I kind of stood back and watched all the different scenes and everything that was going on. And it was so enjoyable and fascinating to see the variety of scenes that were happening even at the same time. You know, there would be people doing wax play, wild wall, doing crosses, spanking bench, whatever, and it was just, I love seeing how each person has their own journey that they're trying to go down, what path they're going down, and how the service tops really responded very well to that and gave everybody exactly what they needed. And then, as has been mentioned, the aftercare room was just, it was fantastic, and everybody, I feel like, got what they needed there, for the snacks and drinks and for the towels and whatever you needed, and it was really nice to spend as much time as you needed to there, so you weren't rushed out to get what you went. I think that's, the whole thing was really well organized, but then everybody taking their time to make sure that each individual was taken care of. It was really great to just sit back and watch it and see.
And you know what I noticed about that part of the aftercare this year, that the DMs had more time to go back and be with the person that they had just topped. So that was kind of nice to see, because they were so busy in the previous years. We didn't, in my opinion, while we had plenty of them, still not enough, so that they could go back and make sure that the person's okay. And some of them, I mean, I had one that said, "Oh, sure, I'm a pro. I don't need any. We're good. Don't worry." But to me, it was nice to see the doms going back and whoever was co-topping and all that, making sure that everybody was okay. So I enjoyed that. And the food staff here, by the way, they made sure that there was chocolate, there was fruit, anything that might help somebody coming, you know, if they were in subspace, and some people have sub-drop, and so it was nice they take good care of us with the food as well.
That's one of the things about the food and drink. You know, we placed orders for certain stuff to be brought up at certain times. We were like, yeah, you know, utilitarian. We need some meat and some cheese and some crackers, and they bring us a bunch of trays that look like they come off the cover of a magazine.
Yeah. They do.
They really, anytime you ask for anything, they work hard to make it visually appealing and delicious and on time. And I also want to echo one of the things that you were saying. It was really nice this year because it was the first time that I, as a service top, had the opportunity to get back into the aftercare room and check on people. And not everyone really felt like they needed it, and that was fine. But in previous years, the rapid fire pace of the scenes was like back to back to back to back to back. And we had a little bit of leisure time this year to do a little bit more thorough and well-rounded job with the service topping, which is always what we hope for, but was not always possible.
So I have two members that really kind of sparked first was watching Ophelia's facial expression as she started to top somebody. Watching, just going from this sweet person to this serious, focused, evil. It was one of the most enthralling things I've ever seen.
That evil little friend.
Where's my xylophone? Now I need a xylophone for Ophelia.
The second one for me was a little bit more personal, and having the opportunity to watch my dog, my wife, move and transform into that service Tom role. It was a little bit of jealousy from my perspective to say that I'm kind of letting other people share what I've always truly enjoyed. But at the same time, it was one of those moments where for me it was very transformative to be comfortable to let her, to see her grow into that role, really enjoy what she was doing, and watching other people enjoy the experiences and capabilities that she brought.
And you know, I never saw her do any of the wax play, and I really enjoyed watching you do that. It's enjoyable to watch.
I have two memories, that were really fun. I'm going to echo something that said. One of mine was watching my husband Ron shovel wax for cloth. They were like mind melting.
Yes.
Service is new skill.
Yes.
Or a skill that I've seen, a new skill of him.
Beautiful.
Happens to be of assistance.
And then the second thing for me, and I'm going to echo something that Brian said a little bit earlier, was I had a bottom come to me, was told he wants to be flogged on the cross. Okay, good. So we started our negotiation, and as it progressed, this bottom is actually a sub to one of our service talks, and he wanted actually a pain-free fun and some sensory play. So we decided to use one of the low beds instead, and I really enjoyed that because this is someone who I've played with in a swinger format before, but not in as a topping role. And seeing his face and seeing him so completely enjoy the moment, it gave me so much pleasure. I truly enjoyed that and really felt that that was a special moment to see someone having so much enjoyment and that I was providing that. I felt so good inside.
So the last couple of years I had the opportunity to vlog Sexy Pixie. And this year I thought it was time to pick up a notch. So I had asked to be co-vlogged by Sexy Pixie and Ginger. And I gotta say it was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had. And it was just blowing my top.
But you didn't leave any marks. So.
So afterwards, after share, I went back out. I got to see Ginger working with somebody else, and you see the glisten of the gleam in her eye. And you can think back to see it look like that look in her eye when she was walking through. I just gotta say it was the sexiest, most amazing thing I've seen. It's amazing. I can't wait for future opportunities as well.
Me too.
I'm not going to book the fair.
Luckily, yes, you have a lovely wife to do that for you.
She absolutely does. And, she's throwing me under the bus right now.
Well, we are new to the kink scene. We've kind of been pulled in by this group. And
No, it doesn't happen like that.
This year, I got to help with the dungeon, do some cleanup. I was what they call the maitre d'. I was catching everybody at the door, asking if they wanted to participate, where to find Mrs. Duncan to sign up for, and then while they were there, to please be quiet while they were watching, so that nothing, they didn't make us scream or anything like that. So that was absolutely fun. I enjoyed it very, very much so.
And your only complaint was they were all quiet, but the Doms were not very
Doms were
quiet.
quite loud. I had to look around a few times, and I thought I was gonna have to shush people, but I'm like, nope. I was kind of where it was at in the disco. Everybody was kind of right under where the circle is.
you,
it was an absolute blast.
and you did an awesome job because we really needed the extra help out there because we're missing Nadi's pet who helps with that, and so you were just absolutely phenomenal. And thank you.
JD, if I may, one more. Trying to do without knocking over glasses and things. So one of the things, Dylan, Swingset's been doing this. Swingset's been doing this 7 years. 7 years. There's somebody who's been on the trip 6 or 7 of those 7 years. And when we started talking about the dungeon thing 3 years ago, was concerned because they get triggered by impact play. And I found out the day after. So 3 years ago we were doing this. I was like, I don't know how we're going to do that. Make sure it's separated and cordoned off. They actually went up to Dungeon Night to say, okay, I'm going to push that boundary a little bit. And it was just really, really nice to see that not only do we give the opportunity for people to play the way they wish to play, but even give people the opportunity to say, I'm going to push this boundary in other ways, boundaries they may have. And it was just really great to hear that they could do that, felt comfortable in doing that, and then came away from that saying that, okay, maybe I can expand just a little bit and not be so afraid of something, of that trigger being So I took away from that just a bit. Yay.
And I agree with you, and I think that it's awesome that they were able to push their limit and feel comfortable with it. And I know who you're talking about, and they are awesome people, and they are very supportive. Even though it's not their thing, they are very supportive. And we saw them at another event, and they did the same thing. They pushed that limit a little bit. So I love seeing that and the support that they do, and plus the costumes that they arrange a lot of different things. So I just love them, and so I'm glad that they were able to do that.
And what I want to say following up with that is that the aftercare is not just Dungeon Night. It's not just coming in by you, Shara, because you can have an effect the next day, and we had an experience that Ginger, thank you. We needed aftercare. Was it the next day? Days get so blended here. The next day, and that was so well provided by Ginger. And the group here, it's not like, if you're not experienced and you go to Dungeon Night and it's like, I'm going to get flogged or I'm going to do this. It's not just that night. This group takes care of you the whole week. So if you have you have something happening the next day or the day after, this group is there for you. So thank you for that so much.
I would love to share some pieces of that. Is I feel like one of the things that you may notice or may feel is that congruence and consistency with, I would offer, and I won't speak for every service top, but it's who we are. It's what we are. It's not, although putting on the big boots is always fun. It's not about the boots or the leather or the, that those are enhancements. Those are, and I won't even call them costumes. They're who we are. And when we're not in those things, when we're not in the dungeon, when we are other places, it's still who we are. And so if it's not asked of us, if we don't step up into that brave experience of saying, I know you're on the beach, I know you're relaxing, I know this is where you are right now, it'd be really awesome if we could spend some time and connect. Please know that feeds us too. And so, what that experience that we had that was so intense, we did the debrief afterwards again, and it was exactly what I needed as well. So this lovely goddess had a little much fire, and I was able to take that and launch that into my experience for the rest of the night. And so not asking keeps us all from those experiences. And one of the things that I want to offer, and takes us back to kind of a little bit of a sexy place. One of the things that I loved about service topping, so my dynamic with Prof is he's my dominant. We have different particular dynamics, but I was able to be collared here for the first time in a long time, so that's something that we were able to experience, grow back into, notice how it's different, all of those things. But then Domina gets to come out and play. And what I loved was hearing the questions about, oh, have you done this? Have you done that? Are you comfortable with this? Are you comfortable with that? And it was pushing my edge too. And one of the things that I said to Sexy Pixie about this extraordinary gentleman back here was, I think I need to punch him. And I got to punch him a lot. And it was so good. And then what I think was so awesome about that is I think that parlayed into being asked by another lovely, beautiful woman saying, you know, I think I need my ass punched. I saw that you were punching earlier, and I was like, oh yeah, bring it. Put her on that spanking bench, and we did some beautiful things, and then I got to get down and squat and just go after it. I still have flogger forearm on this side, but both of my fists are just like, every once in a while I'm like, ah. So even as being in my domina, I have that same experience of noticing what the flogging felt like. So the switch in me is just so satiated right now. Not satiated enough that I don't want to carry on for the rest of the trip, but that was really awesome because people were asking for what they wanted and were brave to do that. And just knowing that that's what that's about. That's the flow of energy from the dominant to the submissive and through the switch. The pain slut receiving pain from the sadomasochist. I mean, that's what it's about. And anytime we censor ourselves, we're inhibiting that flow. And so that's where I still am. I'm still just absolutely having that natural, beautiful high from Dungeon Night.
So a couple of things, Ginger, that I enjoyed was watching you do the punching because I never saw you do that before. So that was a turn on for me, and I'm glad I wasn't changing sheets at the time because I got to see it. And the other thing that is pretty amazing about Ginger, and I've probably shared this before on the podcast, but one night we were out having dinner with Prof and Ginger and enjoying a nice dinner, and she was very submissive to Prof. She gets up to go to the bathroom and she stops to talk to a sub, and she's like very dominant with him. And she comes back to the dinner table and she becomes submissive to Prof again. I go, how the hell do you do that? It was so impressive, and I still am extremely impressed with it. So anybody who's thinking about switching and that and has any questions, very impressive. I mean, if you could have seen it, I get goosebumps even telling you about it because seriously, it's amazing to me, amazing. And we're going to take a quick 5-minute break because Ginger was kind enough to get me some ice
party favors,
water, for 2 reasons. Over there, we're going to make this cold for you.
Just going to take the microphone off right now.
We're not going to do that yet because we have to go get it because we believe it might be in her room. So we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. So if anybody needs to get a drink or anything, now's the time.
Yep, and we'll be right back to it in 5 minutes.
Hey Dylan, guess what?
What's that, Ginger?
I'd love for you to come with me on this amazingly sex-positive, queer, and polyam-friendly, kink-aware, all-inclusive resort vacation in paradise.
Oh, really? This trip sounds great. Who are these people, and how did they get the elusive Ginger A. Bentham stamp of approval?
It has the sexiest name. It's called the Swingset Takes Desire. It takes place in Cancun, Mexico at Desire Riviera Maya, November 2nd through 9th, 2019. This trip to paradise is co-hosted by JV and Shara from Ending the Sexual Dark Age, Bradford and Angela from the By the By podcast, and special guest Tristan Taramino, author, podcaster, and creator of excellent, ethically produced porn. And you can find more information at swingsetdesire.com.
Oh, Ginger.
What?
Get with the times. Everybody knows about swingsetdesire.com. In fact, Life on the Swingset is hosting its 8th annual trip to paradise. Drop your information in the form at swingsetdesire.com and boom! Hot tub happy hour.
No way! I can go there and come there too? There's this super hot harness I've been dying to use.
Absolutely. In fact, I invite you and all of our listeners to go to swingsetdesire.com and book your trip to join us for the Swingset Takes Desire, November 2nd through the 9th, 2019.
All right, Dylan, I'm on it. swingsetdesire.com.
You'll be glad you came.
And we're back.
So, Dylan.
Yes?
see
Yes, sir.
this?
I do see what is in your lovely hands.
Now, for those who may not have listened to last year's episode, we should probably explain.
Last time on Ending the Sexual Dark Age.
Yes. Last time at Desire on Ending the Sexual Dark Age, we talked about the fact that Dylan, in a moment of lack of clarity, shall we say, in the hot tub, bestowed and allowed to be bestowed onto Shara the power to dump ice water over him at any time. And we made sure, before he thought better of it, that power was granted in perpetuity throughout the universe.
I may have done that, yes.
And you also gave me permission to give it to somebody else. So should they, maybe they're having a bad day and it would be helpful if they could release that somehow, like maybe pouring ice water over Dylan. But you've been very gracious about that. So today, before I pour this on you, I'm going to give you the choice of doing it right here where you're sitting, and I don't mind sitting next to wetness, of course. Or we can step right behind Ginger, and I won't get Ginger, of course, because I don't want to get,
Get in that kind of... Yeah, you don't want to get in that kind of trouble?
I don't want the hump.
Maybe to shield Ginger somehow while you pour it on me, we can see how that goes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
So we're doing it right here? Or do you want to step right behind Ginger, or what would you like to do? It's your choice.
It's my choice. Well, I think we should do it right behind Ginger.
Okay.
So.
I love how that part of it is his choice.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Right here.
That's the spot.
Thank you.
Ready? Wait, would you like me standing or would you like me to kneel?
I like it.
Let's get a pillow for you.
I mean,
thank you.
you know she's a sub.
Right.
When you're in the dust.
I absolutely do. I think I've proven that over the years.
Make sure you got good seat cushions on that bus.
You have, and you also have right here. So, do you want it wet today or no?
Oh, wet and everything you want.
Okay. Here we go.
Oh, that's
It's hot out today, so I'm sure that felt good.
It felt... Yes.
It felt something, yes.
Does anybody have any glass that we can cut with Dylan's nips right now?
I know. That's my favorite part. I mean, I swear, like an hour later, it'll still be like this. I love it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Watch your stuff here.
Yes.
Yeah, don't slip.
No, I got you. I can get it. I want to guide you back to seat. I'll bring it back.
I'm telling you, so great. And we have something for you too, but we want it to get a little colder. So, hang in there. Your turn's coming. Ginger has graciously offered to take care of that. So,
Got a little wetness on your seat there, baby.
that's probably from me, but
And then there was a picture
Was
of
that
water.
there before?
It probably was. I didn't look, but I'm betting it was there already.
okay.
All right.
So, Prof wanted to pick up on something.
Yeah.
And there was someone else too that wanted to.
Yeah, we're still going around the group, but Prof mentioned during the break that he had someplace he wanted to like to start again.
Right.
Well, JB, just before the commercial break, Ginger was talking about domina. And I want to say that one of the things that I love about her in particular in this group is how we get to see different facets of each other and our partners in the course of the week. As she mentioned, I do not see the domina facet of her ever, but I can tell you I am completely in love with it. And as I was doing wax play and I was observing Domina doing her magic, I saw a part of her that came alive, and that is beautiful. And tuning into that energy is beautiful, and being able to move between headspaces, as Shara said earlier, was just so gorgeous for me, and I love that after 25 years, she still surprises me. So, thank you for a wonderful dungeon experience, and thanks for letting Domina come out and play.
Anytime.
I was standing and admiring the lovely Ginger during
And Ophelia, I just want to say, when we came to Chicago to visit, you were awesome. I may have talked on a podcast, I'm not sure, but you were awesome with me. And not only was she tapping me, but she was tapping another one at the same time. There was two of us. One was on a coffee table, and she was using the stainless steel flogger on me. That was amazing. And so I so enjoyed that, and I just want to say, because I really don't get a chance while we're here, because we're both so busy, with other things, but I just want to say thank you, because you are awesome. So.
From a first-time service top perspective, we had a very special moment with some friends that I've never seen before, and it was the fact that we got to be in service of a dominant. We totally facilitated a scene between a dominant and a submissive, and the scene was between them, and we were just there to wield floggers and to be submissive to him in his service of her. And it was so hot to watch that happen, and I don't know that the rest of the room knew really what was going on. We did. We felt it, and it was so great to facilitate a really cool experience between two people that we like very much.
That was absolutely an amazing scene, and I feel very lucky to have had the opportunity in the dungeon to be a service top and also to bottom. I really enjoy being the service top, and it's more of an intellectual experience, which is what work is like for me on a day-to-day basis. I'm very analytical, but delivering that sensation and seeing the reaction from it is absolutely amazing. But I was very happy to also have the opportunity to get completely out of my head and get
Anyone else have anything they'd like to share? Yeah.
So I had the opportunity. My husband was one of the service tops, and I was more of a facilitating role, helping out with the entrance, and I didn't do anywhere near as good of a job as our maitre d' did. Whenever she had to step back into the aftercare room to take care of her partner. But I did have the opportunity to speak with a number of people who were not familiar with the scene and be able to answer questions. And there were some really good questions and curiosity and openness to try and understand what it was that they were observing. So it was really fun to be able to provide that role in that environment. And yeah, so it was fun to be able to take part in that way. And yeah, be part of the scenery as well.
And very nice scenery, by the way.
Yes, we enjoyed your tale.
That she made, by the way.
In fact,
That is
yes,
a
the
beautiful
whole
tale.
dungeon enjoyed her tale.
So one of the nice things about this group and the group that really works really hard to put together the dungeon is that I've been lucky enough to see the full spectrum of possibility of all this. And one of the things that has always really interested me is people getting seriously vulnerable and working through whatever they have, and then letting that go, and then really taking care of the rest of that in the aftercare room. Like that whole journey has really. I've never been on that kind of journey myself, and it always really fascinated me that this could take people through that journey. And I appreciate it, which is why I constantly want to support people doing it and exploring it and all that stuff. And I top a lot. I enjoy service topping, and it's what I do. I like to think that I'm a switch, but I don't really bottom much. Even when I'm taking something, I'm getting exactly what I want, and I'm telling you how to do it. So I'm not exactly bottoming, right? I'm not being taken for a ride, but for the first time, I felt like that was an option for me, because I felt, for various reasons, very, very vulnerable and very, very, some sort of mix of stuff that I just needed to work through. And so I started playing through everything in my mind and realizing if I put myself on the cross and I got flogged and paddled and punched, which is what I wanted in that moment because I wanted to take it, I was going to yell or scream quietly. I was going to emit a ton of anger or cry a lot because I felt like doing all that. And I almost asked for it. And so, like, you're talking about, like, these holding ourselves back things. And, like, I opted out of the dungeon for most of this year. I saw Tonya receive some Rax play from Prof, and it was beautiful. And I enjoyed it. And then I stopped myself. And I'm like, I could have had that journey because I saw other people go through that journey. And it was beautiful. And so, like, as much as I'm regretting not allowing myself to be vulnerable enough to take it, I like that it's an option, and I like that it's a comfortable and safe option with you, with this group, and I know that's not going anywhere, so I appreciate that.
Thanks,
Ginger, did you want to say something?
I did. At first, I'm feeling like Jim is, sexy gentleman over here is a little bit on the warm side, so.
Oh.
For just a moment.
Could you come over here? For Ginger?
Excuse me.
For the audience at home, Ginger is now making her way through the crowd with the ice-cold stainless steel chain flogger.
So hi.
Her victim's wife is giggling.
So one of the things that Jim shared when we were in the dungeon was that the cold wasn't something that he was really interested in experiencing. But I thought he might want to give it a try today. I certainly want to give it a try today. So, what are we thinking?
Yeah. Hey, Jen, don't forget the barrel of the flogger. That holds cold pretty well.
So I'd love to work this in next time, if you're willing. Or if you're not willing. If you consent, but you're not willing. Right?
Do we want to move the bucket over and make sure it stays nice?
Oh, I think it's a great idea.
Great idea, bro.
It warms up very quickly, so just if you want to cool it down.
Fair. Thank you for the tools. So I may hang here for just a second.
So Ginger,
little sauce. One of the things I want to share, though. Thank you for that. We're gonna play that again. Thank you for that. One of the things I want to share, just a quick little. It's almost like the glossary. One of the things that I find that people find is kinky people can be very, have a lot of quote unquote inside jokes. But what I want to offer is they're not inside jokes, they're just shared experiences. It's not that anyone's trying to be exclusive. It's just we have these shared experiences and we play with them. And you may have heard us say, huh, a couple of times. And you may see t-shirts that say, huh. So we just want to offer one of those things is we've shared in our group experiences elsewhere that whenever a dominant says, huh, it's very, very scary. So thank you to the lovely folks who we have the I'm having name issues right now. August, thank you. That August gave the crew doms, that's always fun. And I encourage folks to have those with your crew, but also it's cool to share them too. The other one that you may have heard is there's always buses coming through here.
You don't say.
So one of the things that you may notice is the subs tend to sabotage each other, to misbehave, and do inappropriate things to get punished. And sometimes we throw each other under the bus. So please, by all means, that's not exclusive. If that language and that feels fun and right for you as a dominant or a submissive, to be thrown under the bus, to beat at someone, that's not for us, that's for all of us. So that's my mini little Urban Dictionary moment for the dungeon. So
if you happen to have a Sharpie, Ginger really loves the smell of Sharpies.
boring. So with that being said, I was surprised, handed off from dominant to dominant, and I don't have words for the story because I immediately go to the place of wanting to get on my knees, and I don't know if JV has any more information about that, but yes. So if you see people carrying a Sharpie, handing me a Sharpie, wafting a Sharpie under my nose, orgasms are usually not far behind.
JV writing super boring across your chest.
And Shara sending me Sharpie porn. She'll send me like this one and this one, and then she sends me like the big ones, like look what I found.
That's the beep beep in me.
That
So,
is the beep.
are you opting in to receiving a little bit of Sharpie-based porn on a regular basis? Because that's what it sounds like.
Notice she's busy.
Yeah.
She was,
My mistake.
Ginger is back to the flogger.
but I want to share. I want to share. I threw Mary Ellen under the bus during Dungeon Night. Prof came up. We have to stop a moment because JV saw a Sharpie thanks to Ophelia. And
I'm going for irony this year.
Oh, okay. I am not topping from the bottom by sweating, I swear.
Well, you would have had to plan ahead in a way that would be very impressive.
We can hear you over here. What are you doing?
There we go.
oh, let's see, Ginger. A service top.
Ooh. I love that. Thank you, sir.
So, Dungeon Night, Prof came up to me and says, Shara, I feel like beating someone. And I said, oh. He said, do you know anybody? I said, Mary Ellen. And he said, beep, beep. I said, please come here. And I said, would you like to be beaten by Prof? And she said, yes. I said, beep, beep, my job is a good bus. I do. I always,
There are good buses.
I try to always throw a good bus. I know, I try, but I know it's not always perfect.
Actually, let's be fair. It's a ratio. It's a ratio of bad buses to good buses. It's not.
I try. Candido, we have to stop for a moment because I did ask Candido to stop by because.
Come join us, Candido. Come up front. No.
Unless he wants to.
And that's why we need to have Candido up front. So, Candido was always one of our favorite waiters here. If only we had video. He was always one of our favorite waiters here, in large part because he's probably the perviest person here who works on the staff. And he has never been afraid to show that to us because we have so much fun with it. So Candido was promoted to butler now, which is one of the higher positions in the resort. So Candido, would you say hello to our folks at home? No limits, my friend.
Gracias. Thank you very much. This is thanks to all of you. If we keep doing everything hard, really it's thanks to you. Why are you coming back to this crazy place? You always say it's thanks to us. Well, if we're doing something good, we're growing up, it's thanks to you guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And my firm to pay all of this back is to treat you better than home. So, but not make me. I love you guys. I love all of you. So
Congratulations.
Gracias.
Congratulations. And later, if you want fisting, just let him know. We'll be taking care of it.
I have friends with small fists.
Yeah, was it Angelica that has a starter fist, as she calls it?
That's amazing.
And I've got the finisher.
Do you leave the ring on or off?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
All right, so we're getting close to time to wrap it up. So I just want to take a minute and thank everybody for coming here, because one of the greatest parts about, we love Dungeon Night, but being able to do this kind of debrief We always hear stories, especially from the tops end. We hear stories about things that we were too busy to see. So there are a lot of things that go on Dungeon Night that even though we're there all night, we try to be very focused when we're in a scene. The only time I got pulled out of a scene was actually when Tristan was humiliating somebody, and I stopped in between blows, and I heard the only thing that would make me happier right now is if I was topping JV. But all in all, my one of our other guests here pulled me aside the morning after Dungeon Night and said, I just have to tell you, I was up there a lot of the night last night, and I saw you there, and I've seen you in there before, and that really is your home space, isn't it? And it really is. It's where I feel the most natural, where I can let my freakiest parts really out to play. And a big part of it for me is solving puzzles as a service top. People sometimes ask, well, are you disappointed if the bottom can't take, whatever? No, never. My job as a service top is to get you where you're trying to go. I'm a facilitator and nothing more. And that compersion, that's where we find compersion in kink, I should say. Because we find compersion in being open in the pleasure of our partners, and I find compersion in kink in the pleasure of whoever happens to be bottoming for me. And I was really privileged to have a string of fantastic scenes, and I couldn't have asked for more. I got to mentor and co-top and work with couples on a number of occasions. That's always great because in vanilla life, among other things, I'm a teacher. So, that just lets me bring a little bit more of my core self into the experience. So I would like, on behalf of the entire dungeon crew, to thank all of you and everybody else at the resort that fills up the dungeon and keeps, showing your asses and showing your fears and letting us help you work through new experiences. Because really the joy of it for us is helping you maybe get to a new place that you didn't know how to get to before, or take a new skill home, or learn how to maybe work with an injury that has been obstructing you from really having the kind of playtime that you want to have, which is one of my scenes. So I'd like to thank everybody who bottomed for me, because you are the ones who really made my night. So thank you very much. Shara, do you have any closing words?
I think you pretty much handled it. I just, again, agree. It's all of you that make this happen. Every one of you, whether you think you did or you didn't, every one of you sitting here, and then the ones that can't be here right now, have made a difference. And there's people that we met here that couldn't make it this year, but we continue to reach out to them and get together at Fetish Flea and other events. And so when you connect with people here, it's okay to reach out to them even outside of here, and we have continued to do that. And Swinger Doc and Sexy Pixie, they had something going on today, but they are part of the group that I continue to see with you outside of here. So don't be afraid to have that connection with people here, and don't be too shy, because I know people don't believe it, but I really am shy. And so for me to reach out to people, I know it's difficult to believe, but seriously, I'm much higher. And so if it wasn't for JB, I don't know that I would be where I am today and being able to speak out as openly as I do. But this podcast is important to me because it's all of you that bring something to the table, and our emails that we get and asking questions and things like that. And the amount of new people this year that showed up and added to all of this experience has been awesome. We had a couple that were new and sat at Dungeon Night. They didn't get involved, but they sat there the whole night and watching. And we have someone who suggested possibly fuzzy blankets even out in the sitting area, so would be nice, so that they might just want to sit and cuddle but watch the experience. And so we're going to see what we can do about that. So anybody next year that's coming might want to bring their own just in case, pack it in the suitcase, and make room for that.
Yes, there is cuddle space on Dungeon Night, so if you'd like to take space, make use of it, feel free. That was something new that we saw that was really cool. Yes, Ophelia.
So
prior to Dungeon Night, I should say, I had a lot of walls up. I had a lot of stuff going on in my life, and I think I had a really big breakthrough the day after, processing my feelings and everything. And I hadn't actually had sex yet this trip until after Dungeon Night. And I think that experience, which is usually the complete opposite for me. Usually it's the sex first, then the kink, and then the more sex. But I needed that breakthrough. And the safe place that you guys have created for me to have that experience is magical beyond words that I can really comprehend or put together at the moment.
Thank
you. And many of us this year, we had some major things going on in our lives, and so it was like we putting this all together, and again, couldn't do it without everybody and the support, but you as well have had a lot going on, and so I'm thankful that you took the time to be a service top, because you do it so well.
I needed it.
Yeah, and you do it so well. So thank you. Everybody, thank you.
All right, so time to wrap up this episode of Ending the Sexual Dark Age in Paradise. Thanks to our live audience for joining us, and I'll keep it brief. We might tack on an outro back home, but feel free to reach out to Shara or I am at JVAltheros on Twitter, jvaltheros@gmail.com. She is at JVS_Shara on Twitter, a handle we created before we thought about having to say it out loud over and over again. And jvshara@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Any comments, suggestions, criticisms, and tirades, direct the tirades to me.
Please. And we have another live podcast coming up, so please stay, because it's a very... yes, we're
Yep, the By the By podcast will be starting up in just a few minutes.
Thank you.
So, until next time, this is JV and Shara reminding you that sex is one of the greatest things in life, but there is always room for better, and we find it here.
Always.